The last season of Squid Games has to be peak cinema. Every show ever, take notes. This is how you end a series. Was I depressed watching every character die, including the main character? Yes, but that's what makes the message even stronger. Today I'll be going over the tragic death of Seong Gi-hun and what those last impactful words meant to me. I say to me specifically because good art is always ambiguous and lets the viewer decide what it means for them. Alright, let's get into this. To my surprise, most of the season revolved around the baby of Jun-hee, which I did not think she was going to give birth at all. Maybe it's just me, but I thought she was like 6 months pregnant the whole time. I didn't realize we were going to add another player to the roster during hide and seek. But through the baby, we were able to see Guillune come back to life for his last purpose. I mean, this dude barely said anything in the first 2 episodes. The whole time he was drowning with agony and despair. His last purpose was tasked by the mother, where she tragically took her life before the jump rope game. I do believe she took her life because, well, killing your kid under extreme circumstances definitely takes a toll on your mind. But I also believe that she did it to force Guillune into taking the responsibility of the child and Jun-hee. Through the last 2 games, Guillune made sure the kid got to the finish line by any means necessary, taking in the wise words from the old mother.
All I'm saying is that child's completely innocent in all this. It's certainly not her fault she was born in this hellhole.
Highlighting the importance in protecting the young and realizing the most important aspect of human life is the next generation. During the jump rope game, we see Guillune come back to life. With determination, he was the first to cross the bridge. He was so determined in helping, he was ready to go back to help Jun-hee cross. Thankfully, Jun-hee was smart enough to know that she was already out due to her injury, making sure Guillune takes on the task of keeping the baby safe. Her sacrifice did not go in vain. Meanwhile, the VIPs are busy placing bets on whether Jun-hee and the baby will even survive. And once Jun-hee dies, the frontman offers to add player 222 back into the game as the baby. Which I get, In-ho is doing his job to entertain the VIPs, but also like, what the fuck are we doing? We really just don't have any morals at this point. This leads into the last game, which is Squid Game, but extreme heights. It's basically like one of those party games in Fall Guys. The players at the end try to vote on who they're going to push off. There was a huge emphasis on the democratic vote at the end, which I think was beautiful because it shows how the people of the majority vote on what to do with people in the minority. Rip Min-soo, his arc was pretty good. At least he got his revenge. In the next stage of the game, player 333 almost gets his redemption arc going. But also, fuck player 333. He kills player 120 for more money and even contemplates on killing his own child. His greed sickens me. Anyways, after the scuffle of Guillune and player 333, Guillune, the badass that he is, stares deeply at the VIPs and In-ho, letting them know what is about to go down. And in the final seconds of the game, Guillune puts the baby down and says,
"We are not horses. We are humans." And humans are...
And he drops. He doesn't need to finish the sentence. His sacrifice was the answer. That humans are more than just pawns on a chessboard. That they have a soul. That they know the difference between good and evil. This is highlighted even more if you go back to the hide and seek game and our junkie boy talks about the light leaving the eyes of the people he's killed. Gi-hun's sacrifice even shook In-ho. I think through this sacrifice, Guillune earned In-ho's respect, because throughout the whole series of these games, including season 2, In-ho was trying to make Guillune turn on humans like he did in his own games. The time where he gives a knife to Guillune shows that alone, but that deserves its own video. It was sad to see Guillune go. I was really hoping that Detective Huang and Soldier 11 would somehow save him, but letting Guillune sacrifice himself was the biggest statement. I mean, if this isn't the most badass way to end it, I don't know what is. My man Guillune won his first Squid Games, then returned to attempt to stop the games, only to almost win it a second time. But instead, he chose to sacrifice himself for the baby to have a chance at life. This is cinema. Hwang Dong-hyuk absolutely cooked in this final season. If this man doesn't get more opportunities in the future, I have no respect for the film industry. Speaking of Hwang Dong-hyuk, this felt like a reflection to him as well, for how much he sacrificed to get his series out. I made a whole video on that, but in short, he gave up his intellectual property rights and royalties of Squid Games just to get the series out. The final message I'll leave you with this: that as fragile as our bodies are, our minds and our ability to choose is our greatest strength. To fight for the weak, to sacrifice yourself for the greater good of humanity is probably the best thing you can do. Now, I'm not saying to go out on a killing spree, but to speak your mind on what you think is right. Of course, we are humans and we make mistakes, but trying with the best of your abilities, that's all one can ask for. Alright, stay tuned for a video on the beef between In-ho and Guillune. Thanks for watching, I hope you guys enjoyed. Also, Netflix, if you try to cash grab this series and make more series, just don't, for the love of God, please don't. This is all Squid Games needed.